following notice of public hearing was published in the Hartford Courant on Tuesday, August 16th, 2022. Town of Enfield, legal notice. The Enfield Town Council will hold a public hearing in the Enfield Town Council Chambers, 820 Enfield Street, Enfield, Connecticut, on Monday, August 29th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. to allow interested residents an opportunity to express their opinions regarding the proposed changes to the Town Council voting districts. More information regarding the proposed changes can be viewed at www.enfieldconnecticut.gov. Dated this 15th day of August 2022, Sheila M. Bailey, Town Clerk. I will announce the ground rules for the public hearing. There is no time limit, but I ask that each person not take up too much time so that everyone will have the opportunity to speak. After each person who desires has had one chance to speak, I shall permit those individuals who desire a second chance. After those individuals who desire to speak a second time, I shall permit those individuals who desire a third, fourth time, etc. Please refrain from personalities. Is there anybody that would like to come and speak in regard to the voting districts? Going once?
No.
It's a public hearing, so no.
Make a motion to close public hearing on the voting districts.
It's a public hearing.
Second.
Second, Councilor Pisner. Okay. This public hearing is now closed. Thank you. Discussion resolution to accept or reject the recommendations for redistricting as presented by the Registrar of Voters. Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading.
Second.
Councilor Mangini, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 10 in favor. Okay, very good. All right. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, we do have the two registrars here. If we could have them come forward, they could field any of the questions or comments from the Town Council regarding the presentation of the proposed changes to the voting district. You have two choices tonight: to accept those presented, or you could reject their recommendation, and I'm sure they'll be here to remind you of the impact of the work that they've done this summer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Lou Fiore, Democratic Registrar of Voters, 14 Cartier Road, Enfield, Connecticut.
Tom Kinsler, Republican Registrar of Voters, 359 Washington Road.
As you know, back in, I think it was June, we presented a recommendation to you for the redistricting of the 4 council districts. Again, we're here to answer any questions you have on that. We do want to mention that again. You can accept the plan or reject it, because based on the fact that there really is only, at the current data, without making any changes, approximately 550 voters, or residents, I shouldn't say voters, this is about population, not registered voters, between the highest district and the lowest one. It really doesn't matter whether you accept our plan or not. So just wanted to remind you of that. Also, just want to mention that if you did decide to accept our plan, basically we've already budgeted for that in the budget that you approved back in May. It's approximately maybe $1,500 to $1,700 expense to implement our plan between the postage and printing any new maps.
The only thing I'd add to that is that, as Lou said, the state requires that we just give it our best effort, and it's up to us whether we make a change or not. However, going forward in the future, looking forward, it makes it easier on future councils if we constantly are striving to keep the districts as balanced as possible. When you get new dwellings like Barbara Jean and that type of thing, going forward, that could skew the next one, and we want to keep that as minimal as possible. That's our thoughts on that.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion from anyone? Councilor Ludwig?
Just quick, I'm in favor of what you guys put together. I think it's fair, and I appreciate your work. This will, if we pass this, still goes to referendum, right? Yes. So the voters still have to vote on this. So if they actually vote it down, in theory, even though if someone now could be voting at JFK that they didn't prior, does it go back to the way we used to do it if they voted down? Yes?
Yes, if you agreed to our plan and
Yeah.
voted to present that as a referendum question to the public, and they voted it down November, then things would remain the way
But
they
the
are.
key is, so if you're one of those streets, like say, I think it's Beach, right? Or right now you're voting in the new, even though it's not approved, right?
No, you are voting in your old, so the west
Okay,
side,
so it has
the
to-
west side of Beach is still voting in Henry Barnard. It would have to be accepted by the public, and then Tom and I would make those changes
Got it.
in December.
Got it. Perfect.
Going
Thank you.
forward.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Mangini.
Thank you. Thank you both for your hard work. I know you've done a tremendous amount of work. It's much appreciated. I'm going to vote against, primarily because I don't see any real cause to go forward and make any changes at this time. But I do want to say thank you for your hard work. You really did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from anyone? Councilor Finger.
Yeah, I'm going to vote against this too, because if this was, it's kind of close. I mean, if this is going to happen in 2023, I could see maybe, having that a little bit more effect, because people are going to be confused about where they're going to vote. And you got some elderly people that might show up to one location going, and they're going to tell them, no, you have to go across town to go to the other one. So I don't think that's it, but I don't think we don't need to do this right now.
Right? Yeah, I can address that. The way I like to think about it is, we do this change every 10 years, and every 10 years the same types of things happen. One street will move here, one street will move there. The goal is to keep people as close to their traditional polling place as possible, but to keep the balance of the voting districts. So it's a form of government that we've selected to do in this town, and that's what we're tasked to do. So a reason for voting no, in my mind, wouldn't be because one half of one street now has to vote in the next side. We're going to notify them. We've done it before in redistricting in the past. It's never really been a problem. In fact, in years past, it's been higher numbers that have been changed. So I would poll the public on that, and come referendum time, that's when that'll happen. So I would encourage you to allow that to happen. Let the people vote. Thank you.
Councilor Pisner.
Okay, so to be clear, this would be a referendum for the 2023 election. So nothing is going to change as far as where you vote for 2022.
Correct.
Correct, okay. So people would certainly have enough of time to be notified of a change.
Plenty of time. Yeah.
Okay. I myself am in favor of this, especially due to the fact that you said one thing, which is the big apartment complex over on the Long Meadow line. That is encompassing a huge amount of voters in just one spot.
It could happen somewhere else in town.
Yes, it
in the next 10
can,
years.
and that's what I was alluding to next. If we are looking at building more apartments throughout Enfield, and I know there are a few in our zoning hopper that we're looking at, I think it is going to impact where people vote. So I am in favor of this tonight, and thank you very much.
I do want to mention that, I think you're alluding to Mayfield Place. We did not account for that in this plan, because basically we used the census data that was given to us for 2020, and that didn't include the amount of people that were at Mayfield. Now, knowing that, Tom and I were cognizant of the fact that that facility has changed. It almost has 100% occupancy now.
I'm a District 4. I live in District 4, so I know.
Yeah, it's changed.
Yeah, it really did make a difference, so thank you.
The only thing I'll just add, if I can, again, it doesn't matter to us whether you accept the plan or not. We just made the effort to go through to do the charge that you gave us back when you formulated us. I will say that, one of the council districts has the potential of really changing 10 years from now, based on some of the things that Councilman Pisner has already alluded to that she's hearing in the hoppers, is going to change one of those council districts. So by not accepting the plan, basically what you're saying is that there's going to be a much bigger impact to the change of that council district 10 years from now. And I say that from experience. This is the third time in my life that I've actually had to come up with a plan like this. So I know what the impact's going to probably be 10 years from now. So I feel kind of bad if it's not accepted for the next group, who's going to have a much harder job changing that particular council district. And that's really the only comment I want to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other, Councilor Finger?
First of all, I want to apologize. I misunderstood that. I thought it was going to go into effect, so, I'm a man of my apologies, and sorry about that. I misunderstood it. I just don't see the difference. It was like 500 people, I think, in one district, and I don't know. Maybe next time around, if I'm still here, we'll see. Thank you. Sorry, again, my apologies for misunderstanding.
You are forgiven.
No problem,
Thank
Councilor
you.
Finger, no problem at all.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? I want to thank both of you for your time and effort in doing what you have to do statutorily. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. I think we're ready for a vote.
So,
No, we don't need, we already,
just vote. Roll call. I think they made
we
a
waived
motion.
it.
Was I second?
We,
I know we waived it to accept or reject. I like it though.
okay, do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
Yes.
Motion.
Motion,
Second.
Deputy Mayor Sakala, and a second, Councilor Pisner. Okay. Now we're ready to vote.
Counselor Mangini?
Against.
Counselor Pisner?
For.
Counselor Santinella?
Against.
Counselor Ungary?
For.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Against.
Mayor Crisati?
Against?
Counselor Despard?
Against.
Counselor Finger?
No, against, whatever.
Counselor Hopkins?
Against.
Counselor Ludwig?
4.
3 in favor, 7 against. No abstentions.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Sorry for coming back up again, but I want to take this opportunity. Lou Fiore, Democratic Registrar of Voters, 14 Cartier Road, Enfield, Connecticut. I just had a run request and one question for you. The request I have is that, just make you aware that there is going to be a November election on Tuesday, November 8th. And traditionally, in the past, the council has always canceled their Monday night meeting prior to that on November 7th. So I am just bringing that to your attention, since we do use the council chambers for Election Day reporting, that maybe you officially soon cancel that meeting. I would really appreciate it so we can handle the election correctly. And the other question I have for you tonight is, Tom and I were wondering, do you need us for the consent agenda for the item we have on there? Can we go home, or would you like us to stay around?
Well, this is not a back and forth.
I know the procedure. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.